So now we're going to get on to the cons. Now for me personally, there's not that many cons, or if any at all, to be honest, but I have put a few in this list. Like, these are the few that I can think of basically. Like, I loved it to the point that any negative part of it was just part of the experience anyway, brushed it off, got on with it. But I've wrote a couple of cons down just so there's a bit of comparison. So for cons, on my first list, the first on my list is missing your family, friends and being at home. So you're bound to miss everything at home, your home comforts, your family, your friends and your pets, honestly. My dog, I missed him so much. Try keeping contact. Like, we're lucky enough in a world these days to have FaceTime, Facebook, Wi-Fi. It's free to call. I mean, you can get package deals now where you can call for free anyway from abroad. Like, you're not having to get one of those foreign pay cards and use a payphone like you used to do like back in the day. So it's so easy to keep in contact with people at home. And I know speaking on the phone or seeing them on like video chat's not the same as actually being there, but you can still contact each other and like you can still speak and share your experiences. I know I had some days where the last thing on my mind was to text or to phone call because I was so tired, but that is there to do. I did go home during the season, but I never went home because I was homesick. I went home as a surprise for my mum, to surprise her. I also became an auntie whilst I was out there, so I flew home as a surprise for that as well. So yeah, I'd say missing your family and stuff's a con to the job, but it's also like a bonus because you can still keep in contact, if you get what I mean. So working abroad, the money is hit and miss. Like, I'm just going to put it straight out there. As a first timer in my first season, I only got £580. But if you think about it, like £580 a month, but you've got free accommodation, free food, and you've got free flights. If you ever get stuck, like with no money, obviously I never did, but if you ever get stuck with no money, you've still got somewhere to live and you've still got food, so you're not actually going to starve. So like, everything still has a bonus to it. So I know this is my con, because money's really bad, but it wasn't for me. Like, I wasn't bothered because I was doing everything that I wanted to do, so the money was just like extra, if you, in a sense. Like, I know with Thomas Cook, I'm not sure 100% the truth on this, but you're only looking at like £430 a month, and that is absolutely ridiculous. That is slave labour. That is horrendous. And then as a returner, we get a bit more now because we get extra for being a returner, basically. So for a start season, £588 for do you know what, guys? I really can't speak. £580 isn't that bad for me. Like, it wasn't an issue for me. Like, it's the experience that I wanted. Okay, so for me, Greece and the exchange rate. Exchange rate. Greece for me is hella expensive. Honestly, I was by the pool once and I heard a woman go, yeah, Greece is really cheap. I've got this and this. At this point, Greece was practically to the pound. I think it was 30p difference. And I was struggling to like just buy like wash soap and stuff. Like, it was £3 for a bottle of shower gel. You're looking at £4 for deodorant. So if you are posted out in Greece, well, I was in Cos. If you are posted out in Cos, please do stock up on this stuff, because I struggled and I refused to pay £4 for deodorant. So I was nicking my mates. But then the benefit of this, see, everything has a benefit. The benefit of this is that there's a swap box in the hotel. We can use the swap box in the hotel. So I was getting shampoos and shower gels and deodorants from the swap box. I had 3 giant blow-up flamingos from the swap box. Like, it's just amazing what you can get. My friend had a giant shark as well. To the end of the season, on my last day, I had that much shampoo, shower gel and whatever else left over that it just went in the bin. I mean, they weren't full bottles when I got them, but I got like half bottles, 3/4 bottles or whatever, and they come in handy so much that I never actually had to buy any shampoo or anything again. As soon as I was aware that we were allowed to use a swap box, honestly, it was the best thing ever. So there's always like a bonus. It is expensive. I mean, I was paying £3 for a tub of Philadelphia. It was £6 for cereal in some shops, like your own like brand cereal kind of thing. I managed to find a shop that had cheap cereal and it was so nice as well, so I'm just like, oh my god. So yeah, it's hit or miss with the exchange rate, but I would say Greece is like mega expensive. That's my dog. I would say it's mega expensive. This is bad, but it's not bad. When we first arrived, we arrived in the dark on what we thought was an abandoned building in the middle of nowhere. It practically was in comparison to where we'd been, which is like England. It was pitch black, there was no Wi-Fi. It was tragic. The accommodation at first was absolutely tragic. I literally was like, Mum, I can't do this. I can't do this. I had a bird's nest in my air conditioning unit for 7 months. I got used to it. I couldn't afford the air conditioning anyway. The first 3 months we weren't even allowed the air conditioning. I just bought fans. So after a couple of months, the bird's nest in my air conditioning unit just literally didn't bother me. I'd like to have been able to sit out on my balcony, but there was just like bird poo and like stuff everywhere, so it was never actually an option. But it didn't matter because I could sit on my friends' balconies, so that wasn't a problem. But the accommodation at first can be a bit of a shocker. I'm really clean and pristine, and it's hard to keep, like, you can polish your turd, but it's still a turd, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, but it is what you make of it. I like brought with me some decorations, about fairy lights, and like made my own like bunting with like photos of family and friends on. So I made it homely for myself, and then everyone was like, you've got the best room, your room looks so homely and blah blah blah, and I was like, ha, thank you. So honestly, it is what you make of it. At first you probably are going to be like, oh, Jesus Christ, but you get used to it. Like, we thought we was miles away from everything. Like, we were in a sense, but we had bikes, so you get used to where you are, honestly. Like, I loved my little room. And then for me, there's just one last thing, and that is the creepy motherfucking crawlies. Oh my god. I was lucky in the sense I didn't get that many in my room, but I was the first sodding bloody person to have a lizard in the room. And I was like, oh, I can't. I was screaming. I was like hiding on my bed. I thought it was going to kill me and everything. And luckily my friend Steph just literally didn't care, and she managed to get it out, but she chopped its tail off by accident, like this bit. Honestly, I've seen so many bugs out there I've never seen in my life. I've seen the scariest spiders. I've seen a spider with like, oh no, it was like 5 legs or something weird, but then it had like lobster claws and wings. I was like, what the fuck is this? About a month later, there was a cockroach, and my friends knew how scared I was, and I was like, you please need to come help me get this cockroach. I'm like, I'm gonna have a panic attack, I can't do it. I'm gonna have a panic attack. And not one of them came to help me, and I was like, some fucking friends you are. I was really pissed off that day, and not one of them came to help me, and I was like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. So then I started having a mental breakdown on the phone to my mum, because I tried getting the cockroach myself, but literally it's like a same bolt, it's like pew. I was like, I can't get that, it's gonna get me. Then I heard that if you kill a cockroach, it never dies. So I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna end up swallowing it in my sleep. I'm gonna die. And I was like building it so much up in my head that I had to ring my mum. And luckily, my friend Steph had just finished work again. It was like 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, Steph, I'm so sorry, I know you finished work, but I've got a cockroach in my room. And Steph, again, came to save the day for me. Although this time round, she'd never actually dealt with a cockroach either, so she were as scared as me. So we both kind of did it together to get rid of this cockroach. And we eventually got rid of it. But in a sense, like in the long run, that comes with the benefit of it's being a memory. It's laughable. So everything's always outweighed by something that you can laugh at. You fucking mosquitoes, why have I not mentioned that first? The beginning of the season was tragic. Now, mosquitoes don't really like me, so I'm quite lucky that I don't really get bit, but my friends were covered. I mean, absolutely covered in mosquito bites. But you'd see mosquitoes at first, and then we'd just be like killing them and stuff, and getting some spray and that. And then towards the middle and the end of the season, mosquitoes weren't really an issue. But then you had your spiders and like your normal flies and stuff. And I learned that even if you had a lizard in your room, they scared off the insects. So I was like, come on then, Larry the lizard, you can live in here if you're going to scare off them. So you get used to it. One more thing that I'm going to say, which is kind of a pro and a con for me. I'm going to add it in this video because it's an experience that I'll never forget. I was in an earthquake. I was in a 6-point-something magnitude earthquake, and I wanted to die. I woke up with the ground shaking like this. I'd slept so close to the wall, I woke up and all I could see was white because I was so close to the wall. So I was like, is this it? is this the end? Am I going to die? And then I came round, but the ground was still like this, there were wardrobes banging and everything, and I was like, help me! And I literally shouted, help me, and there was no one there. Then I started to hear everyone like coming out, so I tried to get up, the ground still wobbling. Managed to open my door. For about a while, I'd say about a couple of hours afterwards, people were still talking, we all got together, we were all there. I only stayed up for about 40 minutes because I knew that I needed sleep. And I was laid in bed when I was back home in England like the other day, and I felt the ground shake. I was like, oh come on, my mind's just playing tricks on me. Googled it, and there was like a small magnitude earthquake in Manchester, and I was like, really? I actually felt it, because that's how aware I am now of the ground shaking. But yeah, it's an experience. It was a bad experience, but also a good one, because I've been in quite a large scale earthquake. Like, it's weird because it's like scary, but you've experienced it, and it's quite fascinating at the same time. We had really torrential weather, like, oh, I'll insert a clip here of like some of the thunder that we got. It was absolutely terrifying. The first time we heard it in the beginning of the season, I thought I was going to die. I honestly thought that I'd been shot. I honestly thought this is for the end. And obviously with Iraq and all that lot wanting to flee and people coming over to Greece, I was like, oh my god, I'm going to die. But it's just me being dramatic. The weather was horrendous at some point. Other than that, it's luscious, 35 degrees. Too hot, but I'm not going to complain. Like, oh, the days when you had a breeze were absolutely fantastic. But other than that, yeah, that's the pros and the cons. I know most of them like outweigh each other, especially with the cons, because there's always like a pro to my cons. Because I'd say there wasn't really anything to complain about, but you know, it is what it is. It depends how you are as a person. I believe that it is what you make of it. So I hope you liked this video, and I hope it helped you if you needing help with any like sort of situation like this. Please give this video a thumbs up, or a cheeky little subscribe if you're not a subscriber of mine, and thank you for watching. Bye!